Stop living your parents' dream. You know what I'm talking about. We have a lot of parents out there that will force or decide for their children what they must become once they graduate school, or even before they go to college. What is that about? It is not your job to decide for your children what they must become after school. It is not your job to decide for your children what they should study when they go to school. It is only your responsibility to pray for them, to support them, to guide them, and to advise them. It is not your job to say your children must become a lawyer or your child must become a doctor or an engineer. Just pray for that child. Have you ever thought about their happiness? Have you ever sat down and asked your child, what do you want to do? What are you good at? Have you ever tried to observe your kids and find out what they're actually good at? It is not always about you. Just because your friends or your sisters or your brother's children are becoming lawyers and doctors and engineers does not mean your child or your children must become the same. It is not a competition. Let your children decide what they want to do. Let them choose their lives. What makes them happy? We have a lot of parents out there, as soon as they get pregnant, instead of they tell you that they having a boy or a girl whenever you ask them, they will tell you that they're about to have a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. It is not easy to become a lawyer. It is not easy to become a doctor. It is not easy to become an engineer. If it was easy, why are you not a lawyer? Why are you not a doctor? Why are you not an engineer? Unless you probably didn't have the opportunities or probably didn't have the resources to become one. Or let's say you're already a lawyer or you're probably a doctor or an engineer or somebody prominent out there, but you still do not have the right to decide for your children. If they want to follow your footsteps, good. But if they don't want to do it, do not force them, please. Just because somebody is a writer, just because you can sing, just because you can speak, does not mean your children must follow your footsteps. Yes, you'll be happy, you'll be proud if they want to become like you, but it is not your job to decide for them. You can only pray for them. You can advise them. You can suggest and guide them as much as you can. But we got to start raising happy children, happy students, and happy human beings. It is not easy out there. Let them decide what they want to do. Let them choose what they love. We have a lot of kids up there in college, and they have been there longer than they are supposed to because they are doing something that they don't love. They are doing something that they did not want to do. They are doing something to please you, to make you happy. And they think they are doing it because they are respecting you. And for the students up there that are doing something based off their parents' idea or decision, if whenever you put somebody's happiness before yours, you are literally putting yourself last and you are ruining your own happiness. And it does not matter who that person is. We all have our own gifts. We have our own talents. We have our own fingerprints. We should be able to decide for ourselves. You know better what you are good at. Sit down and reevaluate yourself. Do what you love. Allow your children to do what they love. Allow your children to do what they want to do. As long as it is not jeopardizing your family's name, as long as it is not taking them to their grave, as long as it is not taking them to prison, allow them to do it. Support them. Pray for them. That is your job as a parent. It is not your job to decide for them. If you say you love your children, you have to support them in whatever they are doing as long as it is legal. Stop forcing these kids to become what they don't want to become. You are raising on happy human beings. You are raising on successful human beings because when you're doing what you don't love, you will not do it for long. And then you drop out of that thing and then you got to start over again. It is not easy. Stop deciding for these children. Stop allowing your children to do the things that you love. Let them do what they love, what they are good at. When you make this money, you don't want to spend it in the hospital or spend it at a therapist, because money is to be multiplied. It's to use it to support families, to support friends, to support the world, to do God's work, not to spend it in some mental home because you were not happy, because you were depressed, because you were doing something to please your parents. It is not necessary. This life is not a competition. Forget about what people say out there. Just focus on your children and their happiness. Focus on your children and their happiness. Forget about your sister. Forget about your brother. Forget about your friends. Whatever their children are doing is none of your business. As long as your child is not in prison, your child is not dead. Just support what they want to do. When somebody decide and choose for themselves whatever they want to do, that means they will be happy doing it. I'm not saying that it will be easy, but at least they are doing it because they love it. And if you do something you love, it will be worth it. And you will do it with all your heart, and you will get 10 times and even 100 times better at that thing because you are doing that thing that you love. Stop living your parents' dream. Stop doing things to please your parents. Yes, it is your responsibility as a child to make them proud, to respect them. But do it the right way. That does not mean you should put your happiness in the back burner. I'm not saying you should stand up to your parents. I'm not saying that you should go disrespect your parent. Do it in a nice and a respectful manner and say, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I want to do as a child. Would you please accept and support me? And if you love your child, you will support them in whatever they want to do, as long as it is legal. Stop forcing these kids. Stop deciding for these kids. Stop living your parents' dream. My name is Victor Otto. You can follow me, like, share, subscribe, comment at Official Victor Otto. Thank you for your time. God bless you.